Hey guys, how are you? It's Dr. Daniel Davids here, the traveling physical therapist. I'm here with the 400 Fewer Falls Initiative, and today I have a very special guest, Dr. Brian Ludwig from Long Island Optometry Cares. Dr. Brian, how are you, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great today. We actually did a visit this morning. We had an emergency call at one of my facilities, and we took care of a patient. And we're here to talk to Dr. Daniels today, and looking forward to helping prevent falls and everything. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And I know so many people, you and I have very similar businesses, and I think more people need to know about stuff like what we do. And so why don't you tell everyone, I mean, obviously you're doing visits, which is similar to what I'm doing, but why don't you tell everyone exactly what it is that you do?
Sure. So I'm a traveling eye doctor. I visit facilities, skilled nursing facilities, independent livings, and assisted livings. And I bring the entire office to the patient. I bring glasses, I do checks for glaucoma, diabetes, cataracts, and just, talk to the patients and, get to know them. And, I like to be a familiar face to them. And it's an exciting initiative. I also do home visits as well. So people who are homebound and can't leave their house due to age or disabilities, we bring everything right to you, the entire exam room. So it's a really great service.
That is wonderful. More people like you, more people like what we're doing. I think it's going to be a huge thing on Long Island. We're going to be known as like the concierge counties. I'm telling you, that's really, I got to trademark that real quick. So tell me, I want to jump right into things. What is something today? Now you already gave me a little bit about what happened with you today, but what's something today that made you really happy?
I think it was caring for the patient that I saw this morning. I saw them, I got a call from their guardian and they said, hey, can you help out this patient? So I went in today, I give them a full eye assessment. We found that, she was having some problems reading. So we prescribed some reading glasses for her, and, she seemed super happy with it. And sometimes it's as simple as that, a pair of reading glasses just to make, the day for a patient. So it was really great, really motivating to do that, to go out there and do that today. So
that's wonderful. You must, and you must feel like very filled with, you get to help other people, you get to do things for other people. It must make you feel like, I know that's how, when I get to help someone, it's like a great feeling. You must be feeling the same way. You're like on top of the mountain, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a real drive, to solving their problems and coming up with a solution or a plan, to get them there or to prevent further problems from developing down the line. So I love what I do. I really take passion in my patients and the people that I work with. So.
I think it's obvious that you're very passionate about this. This is great, man.
Thanks a lot.
This is great. Now you just came back from a trip.
Absolutely.
Can you share some details? I know where you went, but why don't you give me the details of
Absolutely.
This trip?
So one of my wife's college roommates, she just had a wedding over in Ireland. So she's from Sri Lanka and her husband's from Ireland. So they decided to have a wedding over in Ireland. So we flew over for a couple of days and we got some henna tattoos. Mine's already gone at this point. It was a great time. I got to explore Dublin and got to have some great food and some great drinks over there and met some wonderful people. So yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Really
now I won't pry, but you said you had a few drinks over there. Dublin, obviously it's like, you think of Dublin, you think about, having a beer, was there anything that you stood out like, man, if you go to Dublin, you have to get the,
I lost you, Dr. Dan. But yeah, of course you got to have the Guinness. The Guinness was great. I saw them drinking at 8 a.m. That's not for me, but definitely fits the stereotype. The best food was the fish and chips. I think it's close to England. I think they have the good fish and chips there. You see that everywhere, and a lot of meat and potatoes. Lamb and beef, and it's really good food over there. Yeah, I'd recommend it. So I wish I got to go to the countryside. I didn't have enough time, but I heard it's wonderful out there.
And have you traveled places like this before? Or is it your first time?
Yeah, I studied all abroad. So I did a marine science class in Jamaica. I studied in Italy for a summer, and I did a semester abroad in Australia. So yeah, I've been all over the place. I love traveling, and I like combining
That's incredible.
Work or education. It's a great way to get used to the culture and get a little education out of it. So yeah, I love it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I did look into, I did do a little creeping on you. I hope you don't mind.
Sure.
I saw that you were in charge of the Scuba Club in
absolutely.
undergrad.
Yes. I don't know what that is on the internet. I'm a big fan of marine science. I've worked at the Riverhead Aquarium for a while. I did an internship there, and marine science is my passion. So I love scuba diving. I don't do it enough. I'm going on a honeymoon to Africa this January. So I'm planning to do some
Whoa.
diving over there. Yeah. Trying to do some scuba diving while I'm down there. Hopefully no great white sharks or anything like that.
You're more likely to encounter a few on Long Island than probably in Africa at this point. You
I know,
keep hearing about them.
around over here. So
yeah.
really cool.
And you said marine science is a passion for you, right? So you undergrad, you went to Stony Brook, right?
Yes. I went to Stony Brook for undergrad. I live right in the area right now over there. I studied biology there, and I did a minor in marine science and decided to do the biology route.
That's fantastic.
So yeah,
that is
really
so
great,
cool.
really great.
That's so okay. So obviously, you know, we got to learn a little bit about who you are. We got to learn a bit about what you're doing. What made you become an optometrist? What? Obviously, you know, you have these passions.
Sure.
You want to go down the biology route. Like, what was like the defining?
Sure.
What made you become an optometrist as opposed to that marine biologist?
Sure. So optometry wasn't really on my radar. I chose a biology undergraduate because I wanted to start off really broad and then work my way down. So I started off as biology. I did some internships. I did marine science. I did some computer learning that kind of integrated biology a bit. And then I did an internship at an optometry office who I still work for right now. So I started as a lab tech. I started making glasses and doing repairs, and the owners of the practice were like, why don't you do this as a career? So I took off a year from undergrad, and I decided to pursue a career in optometry. I studied at New England College of Optometry up in Boston and had an awesome time up there. Highly recommend Boston. After I graduated, I moved to New York City. Over there, I worked for a company that did a lot of mobile care. New York City was a little too big for me, so I moved back to Long Island, where I'm originally from, and I started up my own company where I do my own care at facilities and everything. So yeah,
that's incredible.
Pretty much my story. Yeah, I've been all over.
And you're a young guy. You're a young guy. You run your own business. Like,
absolutely.
Obviously, there's a lot of obstacles. It's a lot of hurdles along the way to get from point A to point B. What were some things that you had to overcome to get to where you guys are now? Sure.
I think the biggest thing is just getting the word out there that there is providers like me around. You know, I've walked into facilities and, you know, they've chased me out the door, you know, realizing that there's somebody that can actually come to them. You know, even getting calls for people, you know, that stumbled upon my website and they didn't even know it existed. So I think the biggest thing right now is just getting the word out there that there's providers like me and yourself and other providers as well that will come directly to you. I think that's my big initiative right now, is just getting the word out there for people like us.
I think that's incredible. I think it's incredible. And yes, I'm obviously, you and I have dealt with the same obstacles. I think it's great. And just like, you know, when people hear about, you know, a doctor like yourself being able to get to the home, I'm sure that it's when you find someone, or I should say it the other way, when someone finds you, it's a done deal. Like, I mean, you have to be like highly sought out after. How long have you been running Long Island Optometry Care? I
started my company, I think I got off the ground about 2 years ago. It was my first patients that I started seeing. And now I'm just about, almost about to hit our 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
You know, a couple of months before that, you know, getting on the insurance panels, getting all the back end up and running. But when I was finally ready to go, I think it's about 2 years, maybe even 3 years now. I forgot. Yeah, maybe 3 years, 2017, around there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, good for you. I mean, 2-3 years, that's incredible. I'm sure with each passing month, you guys are going to be growing and growing, which is great. More people need to hear about this, and that's the purpose of this. So if you guys are watching this, if anyone's watching this right now, and you're saying, gee, you know, my mother can use this, or my friend's dad can use this, or even I can use this, you got to call up Dr. Ludwig. You got to give him a call. He's going to give you the information. I have a few more questions for you. I hope you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. So obviously with me, you know, my focus is on preventing falls and improving people's quality of life, just like your focus is improving people's quality of life. Like, how often do you hear people's vision interfering with their balance?
Sure. So I think a lot of patients don't realize that their vision's going down. A lot of the problems with vision happen slowly over time. So something like cataracts is going to be a multi-year thing where their vision is going to be slowly decreasing over years. Changes in prescription are usually very slow. Sometimes it can happen quickly, absolutely, but a lot of the time I see it happening very slowly, and people don't realize that they're visually impaired and that it can be corrected, and that there are ways to help them, whether it's me or sending them out for cataract surgery or an evaluation where they can get help for stuff like this. Sometimes it's been years before they've seen anybody for their eyes, and me getting in there and then at least putting them on a path really helps them out. So I'm not hearing too much about balance and folds, and I think it's just because patients don't realize that their eyes are contributing, could be contributing to their folds. It's so away from your legs. You think, oh, I probably have a problem with my legs, but they might just not be telling me, that they have balance issues, they have trouble getting around their house or whatnot. So
sure.
Center my camera a little bit. There you go.
I have no doubt that's the case. We have this. Everyone has these thoughts in their heads where this is how this, my balance is due to my legs, or this is due to that. Everyone has their own connections.
Sure.
What are some connections besides, the one that you just mentioned about the eyes playing into the balance? Like, what other preconceived notions do people have about vision that's way off? That, like, if you can scream on top of the mountain, this is, you guys are thinking the wrong thing. Like, what is that you hear the most and you go, I can write a book on this? What is it?
I think that the biggest thing I hear is that the glasses are going to make my eyes worse. And this is the biggest thing I hear a lot of the time, that people are afraid to update their prescriptions. They feel like, that maybe being a little bit blurry, it's just going to stay that way. And when they get a new pair of glasses, they wear them and they realize that the world is so much clearer. They're going to use those glasses more and more, and they're going to become more reliant on them, but it's not going to make their eyes worse for the most part. I think that's the biggest, misperception that I'm seeing, whether it's patients, who are homebound or patients that are in an office setting. I always get asked that question at least once a day.
I mean, listen, can I just add on to that?
Absolutely,
Not only is that the patients who are homebound, the patients who are coming in, it's the doctors, because even myself, I have glasses, and a lot of times I'm going to myself, if I wear them too much, my eyes are going to get weaker, and 100%. So this is a myth that goes through not just, patients, even different levels of health literacy, right? People who know nothing about their own vision and their health, to people who have doctorates in their own, how their body moves and how their body functions. And absolutely, that's 100%. That's beautiful. I think that's a really important thing that people need to know. So listen, if you think, exactly, if you think that your glasses are going to make your vision worse because you're wearing them, that's a false belief. Change it.
Absolutely.
Wear your glasses, get them updated. That's what you're just saying, right?
Get an updated prescription.
How often do you tell people to update their prescription?
Usually once every year or two, depending on the patient. If you're younger, about every 2 years, definitely in the older population, we like to see you yearly for the vision checks for your glasses. So, and any changes, you'd see us sooner than that. Absolutely. Anything that's going on, don't be shy about coming in, and seeing us sooner. There are some things that can change it more quickly. So,
and how often do you see people? Usually once a year. Like, how often are you seeing people?
It all depends on the patient and what's going on. Sometimes I'll be following them, every couple of weeks or months. If they have an active infection going on. Other people, like glaucoma, might be every 3 or 6 months. Diabetes as well is a big thing that we see a lot, that we want to keep a close eye on. Diabetes is the leading form of blindness right now in the United States. It used to be cataracts, but we can correct that. So diabetes is very important to get that checked up at least once a year. But it all depends on the patient. Yearly is for the most healthy patients. That's usually what we follow up with. But if we find stuff, we're definitely going to monitor that more closely.
Now, I got to tell you, it's been a little bit since I've been in the acute setting in the hospital. But I recall through in my schooling that they would say, if you have a patient who has diabetes, if you have a patient who is losing their vision due to diabetes, you never want to lie down completely flat. The pressure builds up. You kind of want them propped up a little bit. Is there any truth to that? Or
sure, diabetes doesn't usually affect the pressures of the eyes. It's usually glaucoma is the one that affects the pressures of their eyes. I believe that there might be a correlation with lying down and the eye pressures. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I apologize, but usually it's not too much to worry about with that. Yeah.
I remember it was one of those things that was like, I feel like it was going to be a test question. It was like way too specific.
It's a test question. It was on board or something like that.
Exactly.
I not too relevant. Thank you.
No problem. So Doc, I got to ask you, besides what you do, what other things what other businesses or people, who should people be reaching out to? Now, obviously my everything overarching for me is about balance. So let's talk about that, or just even quality of life for seniors.
Sure.
Besides yourself, besides myself, who should people be calling? What businesses? Who should people be looking up to say, hey, you know what? If you want to live a longer, healthier life with quality, better vision, better this, better that, who should they be calling after they call us?
I believe that getting, full health assessment, on a regular basis is great. Make sure you're getting your dental visits, your vision visits, your balance assessments. After that, I believe that, you should be consulting with, nutritionists, getting a proper diet, as well as exercise, being on an exercise plan that's, appropriate for the patient, and their abilities. And then beyond that, I think, there's other types of resources like elder care lawyers out there who can help, plan estates and stuff like that. There's also people who can navigate insurances for you. So that's kind of like the order of things that I kind of think about. Let's get the acute stuff done first, and then let's work our way through some other life factors that are important to the aging population.
I think that's awesome. I think
Sure.
you're spot on. I think the obviously the two that popped out the most to me are going to be the nutrition and the exercise.
That's all you.
Even though as a physical therapist, where I have a background as a personal trainer to a certified strength conditioning specialist.
Sure.
So I can tell you, man, there's so much that can be done way before issues come up. So I commend you for
getting those issues done before they become major problems is the number one thing.
100%. So, and do you want to give a shout out to any specific? I know 2-3 years that you've been doing this, you've built up a network of people. Are there anyone who you're like, hey, if you need this, you got to go speak to that? Like, is there anyone who you want to give a shout out to?
I don't want to plug anybody, but I appreciate the offer. If you could reach out to me directly, if you guys have any.
Which makes sense, it makes sense. Everyone's you're gonna have a specific, like, let's say elder care lawyers. There's a lot of them, but you got to know. Tell me what specifically you need, and I can recommend. So I'm with you.
I just got to feel the patient, and
not to,
where they are, where they're located, and everything. But I don't have anybody specific I want to plug right now.
I got you. I got you. I didn't want to put you on blast, but I just figured I put that out there. But since I have you in the hot seat, I know that you are an expert. You're the authority when it comes to optometry on Long Island. This hands down, this is known. And obviously, you are quite the hobbyist when it comes to marine biology and scuba diving. So tell me something. I'm gonna make you put you off a little bit. What's something you are not good at?
What's something I'm not good at? Let's see. Public speaking.
I don't believe
and it's here in front of you. I build up, and I've been thinking about this all week, and now I'm here, and once it starts going, I'm good. But public speaking, it's tough. But I try to get over the hurdle. Putting myself in the hot seat right here in front of you. So,
well, congratulations to you.
That was a good one.
You look really comfortable here. So no one can tell. No one can tell. It's really funny because I think that a lot of people think that when it comes to public speaking, I love public speaking. I do these workshops at the libraries all the time and senior centers. And actually before that, I was a professional wrestler. I was, which is a strange thing. I had long blue hair. I'd run around and I would talk on the mic. I would do all this stuff. And I love being in the public, but I know so many people get so nervous about it. And the truth is, very rarely does anyone look like they're bombing. Like, the only people who bomb are the people who are confident. We bomb. The guys who are nervous, they never bomb.
They're great.
So what's a piece of advice that you give to people that you're not necessarily good at following? And this is not necessarily just for optometry, just in general. What's a piece of advice that you're very good at giving people, but you don't want to get caught because you're not necessarily following?
Sure. I think it's got to be diet and exercise. I've been on great routines before, and I always seem to be falling off. There's another party or another night out with friends or family. And it's always an excuse.
Another Guinness.
Another Guinness. I got to bring myself and get back on the wagon. So that's my biggest downfall right now. I got to get it back on the train a bit. And,
so far I hear that. Public speaking and diet and exercise. You are the same as every other person on this planet. So
absolutely.
You're human.
I'm human. That's it. Right?
Who knew? Okay, here's a question. If you found $100 on the floor and there was no claim to it, no one's around, you can spend, but you have to spend it. You can't save it. I guess you can do whatever you want with it. You can split it up however you want. $100, or if it's more in your head, you need it to be more. It's more, whatever it is. You find a certain amount of money on the floor. What do you do with it? You want to spoil yourself. What do you do?
I want to spoil myself. Oh man, I do like a good beer. So yeah, I'll go out and get there some good beers. I like some of the breweries around town. We have some great ones popping up on Long Island. I like a good New England IPA or maybe a good sour beer. So yeah, that's what I spent myself on is some good high quality beers. So
All right, very cool. And have you brewed beer before?
I
Have you
did.
done that before?
I brewed some wine this year. I did a red wine last year. I have some lemon wine on tap, and I've done some beers before. I still got to get set up in a little more pieces to do it the right way. Yeah, that's another hobby of mine is brewing beer. So I like the whole science behind it. It's a way to express myself, the science and,
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful. Nothing better than a super micro beer, a super micro brew.
Oh, yeah. And they've all turned out pretty good. We haven't had to dump any batches. So
that's good. Yeah. That's good. So if my vision's not so great, but I have a few beers, well, I'll have double the vision, but
there you
still
go.
won't be great. That's awesome. Yeah. Very good answers. I like it.
Thanks.
So Dr. Ludwig, I want you to do me a favor. Tell everyone's interested. They're chomping at the bit here. They want to know, how can they get in touch with you? How can they hear more about what you do?
Sure. So you can find us on Facebook. My company is Long Island Optometry Care. We also have a website, Long Island Optometry Care.com, or you could reach me at my business line. The number is 631-804-7962. I'm usually always available to answer. And if not, just leave a voicemail. I'll always get back to you.
Awesome. So guys, Long Island Optometry Cares. This is Dr. Brian Ludwig. See, maybe I had a few beers too.
I know. I got
Dr. Brian Ludwig. Dr. Brian Ludwig, Long Island Optometry Cares. He does in-home optometry care. He brings everything with him, accepts insurance, right? You said you accept insurance?
Yep, we accept most
insurance. This man is, you have to find him. You have to call him. You have to reach out. Brian, thank you so much for being a part of this. I so appreciate it. You are awesome. And I think maybe you're starting a public speaking career after this.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you, and best of luck with the initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.